Communism killed more people than any other political system in 20th century. But it also gave millions of people their first taste of education, industrial growth, and freedom from the extreme poverty. Both of those things are true. So how do you actually make sense out of that? Because communism didn't appear out of nowhere. It came from the 1800s, the Industrial Revolution. Factories were swallowing the entire cities, and owners of these industries are becoming unbelievably rich. Meanwhile, the workers inside those factories are working 14, sometimes 16 hours a day for 6 or 7 days a week in dangerous condition with no safety laws, no weekends, and no sick leaves. Sometimes even children are working on the machine. People were getting injured and replaced like a broken parts. The owners were getting rich and the workers barely surviving. That was the system. And eventually people started asking a simple question. Why does the person who owns the factory make everything, while the people actually doing the work get almost nothing? That frustration eventually led to something no one in history had ever tried before, and wouldn't try again quite the same way. Thinkers like Karl Marx looked at the system and asked one question: if the workers create everything, why do they own nothing? His answer was simple. The economy shouldn't belong to whoever owns the land or factory. It should belong to the people actually building it. That's communism at its core. And to a factory worker in 1800s with no rights, no saving, and no future, that idea didn't sound dangerous. It sounded like a justice. And over time, that idea spread far beyond factories in Europe. Workers' movement began growing across the world. Socialist parties were formed, protests and strikes became more common, and government started worrying that the anger building inside industrial cities could eventually turn into a revolution. Then in 1917, it finally did. Russia, one of the most unequal societies on earth, exploded into a revolution. The Tsar was overthrown. Lenin and Bolshevik took power. And for the first time in history, there was a real communist state, the Soviet Union. To many people around the world, it felt like history was changing, like ordinary workers had finally taken control. But the Soviet Union was just beginning, because the same story was about to repeat itself in completely different countries and in completely different ways. The Soviet Union did eliminate private ownership in many industries, but the government didn't stop there. It controlled newspaper, schools, art, election, and even anyone who disagreed. Under Stalin, millions were imprisoned, executed, or sent to labor camps. Many died, and people thought, maybe this was just Russia, just one brutal leader. Then it happened in China. Different leader, same result. Then Cambodia, and then North Korea. And at some point, it stops feeling like a coincidence. Every single time, the people who promised to give power to the workers ended up taking more power than anyone before them. And for millions of ordinary people, the theory becomes something much simpler: survival. And when the government controls what you read, who you vote for, and what you allowed to say out loud, there is nothing left to stop it from doing whatever it wants. The idea wasn't born from nowhere. The injustice that created it was real. The question was whether handling total power to the state would fix that, or just create a new group of people at the top. Remember that factory worker? No rights, no saving, no future. Communism told him things could be different, and that's the reason people still argue about it today. Because the problem it was trying to solve never actually went away. So what do you think? Was communism a failed idea or a real idea just badly executed? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you find this video interesting, make sure to like, share and subscribe.